Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shafawiyah Najma Zubeidi. I'm from offering G, batch 2020. In this video, I will give a speech with the topic why feminism is important. In my speech later, I will discuss a little about what feminism is, the history of feminism, and why feminism is important. First, we will discuss about what feminism is. Derived from the word feminine or femininity from the French language, feminine is an adjective meaning feminine or indicating female nature. Feminism is a movement of women who fight for women's rights. Movements and ideologies that aim to achieve a gender level that is under the auspices of human rights. Feminism is a series of social movements, political movements, and ideologies that have the aim of fighting for women's rights, namely to define, build, and achieve gender treatment under human rights in the political, economic, personal, and social spheres. Feminism combines the position that society prioritizes the viewpoint of men and the women are treated unfairly in that society. Efforts to change this include fighting gender stereotypes and seeking to build equal educational and professional opportunities for men. The feminist movement has been and continues to campaign for women's rights, including the right to vote, hold political office, work, get a fair wage, equal pay, and eliminate the gender pay gap, to own property, get an education, enter contracts, have equal rights in marriage, and to have maternity leave. Feminists seek to protect women from violence, social integration, to protect women from rape, sexual harassment, and domestic violence. Change in dress and acceptable physical activity that are often part of the feminist movement. Next, we'll discuss the history of feminism from around the world. The feminist movement began at the 18th century and grew rapidly throughout the 20th century, starting with the promotion of equal political rights for women. Mary Wollstonecraft's writing entitled A Vindication of the Rights of Women is considered one of the earliest feminist writings, containing a critique of the French Revolution that only applies to men but not women. A century later in Indonesia, Raden Ajeng Kartini contributed to her thoughts on the criticism of the condition of Japanese women who were not given the opportunity to receive an education that was equal to men, apart from a critique of Dutch colonialism. Lastly, I will discuss why feminism is important. For most people, especially feminists, feminism is still needed because many of the following things are still being applied or treated to women, such as: first, marriage at an early age. Every day, about 40,000 girls are married before the age of 18, and 36% of whom are not even 15 years old. Marrying at an early age robs the child of childhood and education and replaces it with obligations that must be carried out by a wife. Second, there are still many assumptions that boys are more valuable than girls. This is a common phenomenon in China. Due to the country's rapidly increasing population, the Chinese government implemented a family planning policy known as the one-child policy, which requires families to have only one child, with exceptions. If the first child is a girl, then the parent may have another child, but with a heavy fine. Third, women still often experience catcalling on the streets. Catcalling is anything with a sexual tendency, like usually loudly but not necessarily explicitly, including whistling, shouting, gesturing, or commenting, usually to women, but also men or of the other gender who pass by on the street. Fourth, more women are taught how to avoid sexual violence than men are taught not to commit such sexual violence. From a young age, women are always taught to be careful whenever they leave the house. They are always paranoid and careful not to go out with strangers and never forget to keep an eye on their drinks. Some even carry pepper spray everywhere. But why don't we ever see men being taught not to touch women without permission or not to put anything in their drinks? 5. Fifth, women are paid less than men even though they do the same job. We need feminism because people still share the view that women don't need to be paid for the same work as men. They are okay with the indifference and injustice that is ingrained in society. From my speech this time, we can conclude that despite the feminist movement that have been carried out from decades ago, there are still many oppressions, harassments, and injustices that are felt not only by women but also by men. Therefore, we must continue to fight for justice as a woman in any form. And the essence of the feminist movement is not to make women higher than men, but to make them equal. That's all from me. Thank you for hearing my speech. I'm sorry if there are any mistakes in my video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.